numbers.
Guillermo Jones is the incredible expanding man. He turned pro at 147 pounds, fought for the world title at 154, scaled 174 for his last time out, and weighs 192 today. How big is too big? Lengthy layoffs. Jones hasn't fought in 11 months, and he's had only 2 fights in 28 months. Can he hope to be sharp? An edge in class. This one's a no contest. Jones has fought twice for the world title and has been world class for 7 years. In this regard, Williamson is just beginning to toe the waters. Advantage Jones.
29-year-old Tim Williamson was born and raised in Pittsburgh, where he got into sports as a pole vaulter and high jumper before he discovered boxing. In just 30 amateur fights, though, he won a Golden Gloves championship and a spot as an alternate on the U.S. Olympic team. The unbeaten southpaw fought on Showbox last December and hardly looked impressive, winning when his opponent was forced to quit after 4 rounds with an injured shoulder. Williamson's excuse for a poor performance was that he went deer hunting the week before the fight and fell out of a tree stand, injuring his leg. Williamson's most recent win was a 4th-round TKO last month. He's 13-0 with 11 KOs and 1 fall from a tree. But Steve, what's behind those numbers?
Tim Williamson needs work. He's fought only 42 rounds, Jones 107 rounds. Both are 29 years old, but Williamson remains inexperienced. Natural weight. Williamson is the natural cruiserweight, who has sparred with heavyweights like Vlad Klitschko. Jones is a blown-up junior middleweight. Advantage Williamson. And deceiving numbers. Even with 11 KOs in 13 fights, Williamson is primarily a boxer. Look for him to try and dominate with his southpaw jab.
Can Guillermo Jones rediscover his speed, power, and stamina at the 190-pound weight class? Or will Tim Williamson rise to the occasion in the most important test of his unbeaten career? It's our opening bout here in Las Vegas. So let's go now to ring announcer Tom Triber for the formal introductions.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Sterling Promotions, in association with Frank Warren Sports Network and Showtime, proudly present to you professional boxing action from the Fremont Street Experience in Las Vegas, Nevada. Let's get it started. We have for you, first of all, 10 rounds of boxing in the cruiserweight division. The 3 judges assigned are Dave Moretti, Dave Shirley, and Glenn Trowbridge. When the bell rings, the referee in charge of the action will be Joe Cortez. Introducing to you first, fighting to my right out of the blue corner, he's wearing red, white, and blue trunks and weighed in at 192½ pounds. Hailing from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, he is undefeated with 13 wins, no losses, and 11 of those wins coming by way of knockout. Ladies and gentlemen, introducing the untouchable Tim Williamson. And his opponent, fighting out of the red corner, he's wearing red trunks with white trim and weighed in at 192 pounds. Coming to us from Colon, Panama, his record consists of 27 wins, 2 losses, 1 draw, with 22 wins coming by way of knockout. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Guillermo, the teacher Felino Jones. Once again, your referee in charge, Joe Cortez, now to give the instructions.
All right, gentlemen, we went to the rules in the dressing room. Ya leí las reglas todo en el camerino. I want a good, clean fight y una pelea limpia. Remember, guys, I'm fair, but I'm firm. Touch them out.
Well, I tell you, Jones is the question mark here. You see, he has the frame, 6'4", but 192 when he fought for the world title at 154. You have to question whether he's a natural cruiserweight.
And the unified rules of boxing commissions apply. Key ones, no 3 knockdown rule, no standing 8. You can't be saved by the bell in any round. Joe Cortez is ready to get him on here in Las Vegas. Williamson is the southpaw. He wants to be moving right. He has never been past 6 rounds. Boxer puncher says he will not get careless against this guy. He sees that he has 22 knockouts, does Jones, more than Williamson has fights.
Right away, Nick, look at the difference in body type. He's muscle tone. Williamson has it, Jones doesn't.
Williamson, a kickboxing champion. Looks like obviously he's never been out of shape, regardless of that fall from the tree deer hunting. Incidentally, he got a 4-point buck there, he told me. But now he's looking at Guillermo Jones, again, a guy who's 28 years old, and in need of resurrecting his career. He's only fought a couple of times since December of '99 as he moves up in class. Will he carry his speed, power, and stamina with him? There's the long jab falling short. Williamson wants to move right, but he is going left. Williamson to the body there, sticks it in. He's in red, white, and blue.
It's almost unheard of to think that a fighter like Jones could go from turning pro at 147 and then fighting today at 192. But again, he's 6'4", and he holds the weight fairly well. He's not cut, he's not defined.
And his legs aren't overly big, but he said that he'd hit the ring here 210 to 215. Can't think that that's going to help his hand speed, Steve, as he just got beaten to the punch there by a combination from Williamson.
And it seems to me, Nick, you're right. Williamson is moving primarily to the left, which is not what he wanted to do. But the reason he's doing it, Jones is making him do it. Jones is moving to his left. Williamson is circling to his left, too.
And wild is Jones with that right. Could have got caught off balance. And there, Williamson with a sharp combination to the body. And another three-punch combination there that will score points. So far, the round is Williamson's, it looks like, but he gets hit flush there by a left. Nice strong jab from Jones, something we haven't seen prior to that moment. He is not a jabber. He wants to get in and cut the ring and corner his man. But so far, every time he does, Steve, Williamson is ready to engage him and then move out of danger.
Williamson seems to have the faster hands. There's a nice straight left.
Looks like a different fighter than the guy we saw back in December. A good exchange there. Good pace to this first round. These are 190-pound cruiserweights. As we wind it down, Jones trying to force it here and make the play. And that'll do it for a spirited first round.
All right, T. Listen to me now. I want you to go up and down a little more. You hurt him to the body. You're stronger than him now. Use the jab. Use the jab. Once you get him on them angles, all right? Once you get him on them angles, open up with a three-piece combination. Body and head. Every time you land to the body, come right back to the head, all right? You hurt him to the body. And then what you gonna do? You hurt him with the jab and you hurt him to the body.
Vas a agarrar las rounds, ganas las rounds.
You're going to win the rounds. Jones taking this. Get it in body.
¿Eso te dio?
How you feeling? You feeling good?
Más rápido con esta.
A little bit more faster.
All right, we get ready for round two. Williamson with a bold admission, Steve. He said, I was getting hit with the jab.
And as we said at the top, he really has to out-jab Jones to win this fight. I think that's his major weapon. He is a natural right-hander who fights southpaw.
But he looks good now. Very sharp, clean, crisp, streamlined combinations. And now staying away from that jab by Jones, and a right counter that lands flush to Jones's jaw.
Yeah, I thought Jones would be the counterpuncher in this fight. Right now, Williamson is counterpunching Jones.
Jones is trying to bring it to him, but Williamson doing an excellent job, as you said. He's backpedaling and still planting and firing and then moving out of danger enough. So he's got the quickness to carry him and very good hand speed.
And good advice from Al McCauley in Williamson's corner. Go to the body. Hey, that midsection is not exactly six-pack abs for Jones, so why not?
Well, they both jabbed at once there, and both tried counters. Now Williamson's moving straight back, but trying to go to the right. There he goes. Gets off with a combination there and spins again. Joe Cortez telling him to break. Instructions from the corner, work the body from Williamson's corner. And we haven't seen that so far in the round.
I want to see Williamson land a real heavy straight left because Jones has been down only once in his career. I want to see if he can take the punch of a cruiserweight.
Is Jones open for it at all? He's got his hands up now.
I think he's open for it when he leads. When Williamson counters, that's when he's really the only times he's landed his shots.
There's Williamson with a rapid-fire combination and now backing up. And another combination as he lets his hands go, something, again, we did not see last December in Chester, West Virginia, in his 4-round win. Jones ever pressing forward and taking it on the chin, flush.
And this is not a circular or a mover's ring. It's a heavy ring. Your feet really go down. That gives the advantage to the puncher, the stationary guy, as opposed to the guy who's skipping around the ring. He's going to get tired more quickly.
There, Williamson with a lead right to the body. Still say Williamson, Steve, do you think he's shortening or turning enough, or is he still moving in and out?
Well, you know, it's going to be a chess match for the southpaw, and I think that he is moving the way Jones wants him to move,
right,
for the most part. It's Jones dictating the movement.
I think he should be turning more and shortening his angles and having Jones run into some of those combinations. But another good round, it appears, for Tim Williamson. He takes a combination there. As we close out round 2. We're in Las Vegas.
Some more grease on the hand. Come on, man. That's what I want. Now listen to me. You hurt him in the body with the left hand. Come right back with the right hook to the head. You understand what I'm saying? We need to go up and down a little bit more. You got me? All right. Looking good. Listen. When you catch him on an angle, T, look at me now. Look at me. You got me? When you catch him on an angle, miss on the straight left hand. All right. I got it. Put them out, Bishop. Okay.
So Al McCauley echoing what we talked about, Steve. He wants to keep Jones turning and run him into some punches, it sounds like. So let's see if we'll see Williamson with more movement other than straight back. Circling left.
It's not too early to bring up the fact that he's a big man, 190. It's very hot out here. They're not accustomed to fighting outside. It's very important for them to drink some water in between rounds as opposed to what they normally do, which is rinse their mouth and spit it out.
Good point. And Williamson asked for some water in the middle of instructions. Oh, Williamson got hit there with a left, but Jones didn't follow up. Oh, Jones takes a combination there, just straight through, as Williamson drills him up the middle. Strong effort in Williamson there with the left cross that lands. Jones looks like he's being taken out of sync and out of rhythm. And
it's all a matter of distance for Williamson. A lot of times so far tonight, and we saw this the first time he was on Showbox, he throws his punches from too far away. As a result, there's nothing on them, and they're not landing anyway. But when he's in the pocket, his hands are pretty fast for a cruiserweight.
He's made a dent now, it looks like, because Jones has some swelling under his left eye, and his left eye looks red.
And there's Jones going southpaw, something he said he might do.
Right. So what do you do if it's southpaw against southpaw? You keep moving what's comfortable for you. I can't believe Jones is more comfortable that way, as now he goes to the conventional stance. Williamson with that left hand dangerously low. Where's the jab from Jones? He tries that straight right hand.
Landed it too.
Yes.
Best shot of the fight so far for Jones.
But back comes Williamson, maybe with not as much steam on that combination, but he is hitting the mark. The far more accurate fighter here. We're in round 3, scheduled for 10. These are cruiserweights, and it's over 90 degrees here outdoors in Las Vegas. Now as the southpaw again comes out at Jones, and he goes up on his toes and fires a long overhand left.
Jones has established that he can back Williamson up. what he does with that from now on is going to determine whether he can win some rounds. He's winning this one.
Williamson feeling that he's in a comfort zone there and out of danger of being hit, and there starts to make the play a little bit. But he is not punching as he did with the volume in the first couple of rounds.
And Williamson better get his hands up there. You pointed that out, you're right. He's getting hit a lot now.
He seems to have been taking this round off, Steve. And I got to ask you as we close out round 3 and go to the card, your card, how do you have it?
I have a 2-1 Williamson, but I gave that third round to Jones.
Look, this is very clear. What? How you feeling? You have to give it, hit it to the heart, and the body, and the left side. Turn the right hand. The right hand to the heart. Hold these. There's Panama Lewis, Steve, and you can tell his tale.
Well, Panama Lewis is the trainer of Jones, but he can't work the corner. He's been banned for life from boxing, from working corners, based on something that happened 20 years ago when he was convicted of taking padding out of the gloves of Louis Resto in Madison Square Garden. And Resto beat Billy Collins that night. It's a tragic, tragic story. And Panama, top trainer, worked with some of the best guys in the world, but he can't work any corners in any of the 50 states.
And we talked to the Nevada Commission. They say he's allowed to be a spectator, but if the coaching gets too obvious, they will escort him from the premises. The instructions from his trainer: go to the body, right hand to the chest. Still in the southpaw stance is Jones. Let's see if he follows orders. Williamson got hit there with a left. And a right there by Williamson connects.
I don't agree, Nick, necessarily with Jones going southpaw. Because really in the third round, he was applying good pressure from an off-dot stance. Why change?
Let's see if it disrupts Williamson. If you can detect anything that throws the left-hander, the net off stride. There's Williamson again making the play. Do you think he's waiting too long or is countering his best strategy, Steve?
Jones is getting a little smarter, and he's leading less.
They punch at the same time there, both trying the lefts.
See, Williamson just doesn't look comfortable enough, distance-wise, to get his jab off.
And it's really strange, him being in the karate, it's that zone they talk about, knowing you can just feel when you're in a position to land. And Al McCauley talked about him turning and shortening his angles and being in position to land some solid shots.
In his last fight, Guillermo Jones in Panama knocked the guy out in the first round with a left uppercut. Maybe that's what he's looking for from this southpaw stance.
We will watch for it.
No body work from Jones, even despite what his corner said.
Williamson with a left there as he resets and fires a three-punch combination.
Boy, the body language says that
they're a little hot and...
Yeah, and Williamson looks more tired at this point, even though we're only round 4.
Mouth open, there goes the mouthpiece as he gets hit.
Let's go. Hold time.
Okay, Williamson maybe with 15 seconds that he needed, Steve. It is only round 4, scheduled for 10 in the heat of Las Vegas.
As Jones trying that left uppercut, that's the shot he wants.
He's back to a conventional right-handed stance, stalking but not throwing punches as he tries to move inside. There's the right and the left, followed by another right. Williamson being discouraged again, getting hit, and now he backs off once more. Not much steam to Williamson's punches, Steve.
Looks a little fatigued right now.
His first 2 rounds were razor sharp. Now it's Jones squared up, but going to the southpaw as they close out the 4th.
All right, here you go. Now listen to me. No, you're doing all right. But listen, what you got to do is pick the punch count up. You hear me? And bring your hands are low. You got to bring your hands up. Bring them back home. Bring them back home, see? You hear me? All right, now, body and head, up and down. Up and down. Rip that straight left hand to the body, missile the right hook to the head. You hear me? Then come right back with another left hand. 3 pieces, 4 pieces, not 1 and 2. You hear me?
Steve, we were talking about how tired Williamson may have been. Maybe he was trying to get some extra air here.
You're saying maybe he spit them out intentionally?
Yes.
Well, you know, it would be a veteran move by a guy who's not that experienced.
Or perhaps he was just trying to suck a big gulp of air and spit it out unintentionally.
Yeah.
We have to give him the benefit of the doubt there. But he did look like a somewhat fatigued fighter. Al McCauley telling him, pick up the punch count, and that's a clue. If you're not firing, you're a little weary. And here we go. Williamson trying to do just that, though. Pick up the pace here in round number 5. Here we go from the southpaw stance as they both move to the right. Now Jones resetting to the left, and nobody is punching. Snap to Williamson's combination there. And there we see Williamson trying the left to the body and then going upstairs, but just single shots. As I say that, a nice combination lands.
Good start to the round, Williamson, but his right hand is way low. That's dangerous.
Showing him some shoulder and then going with the hook, doubling it. Downstairs and then to the chin. That looks like a karate stance to me with that right shoulder.
But you know what? He's been effective with a new weapon this round, that lead right hook.
That's right, exactly. He's loading up from down by the hip.
Now, if he can throw it to the body,
there it is again. You predicted it, Steve. Good combination as Williamson cracks through on Jones. Much more pop to his shots here in the 5th. And again, Jones began his career as a welterweight, 147-pounder. His last fight was 174. He is 192 at the weigh-in for this one yesterday, and over 200 pounds now, although some of that is melting off in this heat. It's got to have an effect, Steve.
And that southpaw style by Jones is causing him problems because Williamson is landing that lead right hook.
Williamson seems very much at home in this style and content to make the play here in round 5.
Imagine a 6'4" welterweight. We thought Tommy Harley was big as 6'2", right? 6'4". It's almost unbelievable. It's certainly the tallest welterweight, tallest junior middleweight I've ever heard of.
So he may be at home as a 28-year-old, denser muscle and such, or he may be a bit too slow and a bit too ponderous at this weight and maybe lose some of the steam on his punches. It's hard to say as we approach the halfway mark of this fight, but Williamson getting the better of him here in round number 5, but he's got to keep moving. Jones, I'll give him scores for being relentless, Steve.
Jones with a rally here, trying to steal the round.
Nice right hand there. Seemed to wake up Williamson and get his attention as his head snapped back. But back comes Williamson in the last 10 seconds as they slug in the middle of the ring. Williamson with his gloves up, absorbing the shots, and it looks like Jones could have stolen this round.
Wow, Williamson dominated the first 2 minutes. I'm going to call it dead even, for lack of a